the license, what happens?
It goes to a full board.
No, they need to hear it. Say it again, please.
Yeah, if the community board opposes an application for a liquor license, then by definition it must go before the full board.
The full board of who?
The full board of the state liquor authority.
So if the community board opposes a license, our comments go to you, no matter what if the precincts say they're good with it?
Well, I'm not talking about the overnight permits now. I'm talking about regular applications.
I'm talking about regular applications.
Sure, it doesn't matter what the police say. If the community board says, if the community board says no, then it must go before our full board.
Okay.
So
and that is those meetings are every 3 weeks, and that is the agenda is put up 2 weeks ahead of time, and when it is, we are looking for community input at that point. We want to hear from the community, and it's basically like a trial. I mean, it's in front of our three board members, and the applicant has a chance to speak after and only after the community has a chance to speak, and the community can then advocate for exactly what it is that they're looking for from that applicant.
Thank you.
The next question that we have, so thank you, Mr. Stoller. The next question we have, so we were understanding that the police department is the authority that's supposed to be monitoring those who get these New Year's Day permits. Is that correct? SLA is not monitoring, the community board doesn't have to monitor. It's the actual police department that monitors.
We enforce the ABC law, the alcohol beverage control law. That is our purview. That is what we enforce, and it's up to us to enforce that. But everything outside of that, it's up to the police.
Okay. So that's the questions we have for these New Year's Eve, New Year's Day permits. The next...
And basic licensing, but he said that what he just answered about go before the full board didn't have to do with the New Year's. It had to do with, you said the other question you answered about the full board was nothing to do with New Year's or Christmas. That's the general licensing that we have opposed to it. If we oppose it, that has to go before the full board, right?
It must, correct.
Okay, that's more than New Year's. That's any license.
Mm-hmm. So the next question that we have is, who's eligible to, or how does the transfer of licensing, what's the process for transferring a license? So who's eligible to transfer their license?
Sure, a license is like a driver's license. You can't give somebody your driver's license. So you can't sell your driver's license to somebody. So it's the same with a liquor license. A liquor license is tied to a person and it's tied to a place, and it must stay with that person and that place. If the person changes, they need to apply. If the location changes, they need to apply. Both of those are the case. Now, there's one exception to that, and that is for a liquor store. Liquor store, you can sell the business and change the ownership. But other than that, you cannot sell a liquor license, just like you can't sell your driver's license.
Okay, so if I have ABC restaurant and a liquor license, a year later I decide to close down that and move across town and open up DEF restaurant. Yeah. Can I transfer?
DEF will need to be licensed.
Okay. Got you.
And that's called, the person who buys ABC does not inherit my license.
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions about that? It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's cool. It's pretty straightforward, right? So since there is some time, I did have some other questions. So what happens to renewals that arrive after expiration, like that after the 30 days?
Right. So I'm going to tell you a couple things about renewals. The first, just to answer your question directly, if a renewal is after expiration, that is a violation of the ABC law, and they're usually fined for that. They usually get a fine for that because that is a pretty clear violation, number one. Number two, and this is something that is, again, like your driver's license. when you get your driver's license renewed, it's a pretty quick process, and you don't have to take your test again. And it's similar with renewals. Renewals are not a big point where, you know, the community board can make go before the full board again. That doesn't happen with the renewals.
Right.
Renewals are pretty much rubber stamped if the licensee is behaving properly.
Okay.
If there's no police thing, what about the renewal?
If there's community opposition and many complaints, things like that, police problems, then it can certainly be taken up and considered. But, you know, I would say, so we have about, in New York City, we have about 30,000 licensees, and every 2 years, they're all renewed, right? So we're looking at about 15,000 renewals per year.
Gotcha.
We just don't have the capacity to, you know, really take an eye on every single one in the same
Gotcha.
way that we do for new liquor licenses.
Gotcha. That's understandable.
Is there, so as far as the community board, we don't have to have a rush meeting for this. They've already been in
renewals, no.
violation.
No, I wouldn't. No, especially because there's just not a lot of weight at that time for renewals. There's not a lot of action in renewals, you know.
Okay.
So, in fact, I would suggest to you to, you know, handle them pretty quickly, just as far as not to waste your time,
Okay.
you know, spending a long time deliberating on them, because they're, you know, like I said, they go pretty quickly for us as well. You know, we have 22 license examiners in Zone 1, and we're looking at 15,000 renewals a year. So you can imagine how much time we have to spend on each one.
Okay. Now the question was, again, is like, do we have to rush because they're late?
No,
Oh,
absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, yes. My name is Alberto Ramos. I'm the co-chair of this committee. My question is, I want to know exactly the law when it comes to the time that the restaurant or bar closes. For example, we had a meeting, we had a vote, and we said the new applicants to close at, I think, finish at 2 o'clock, close at 3. Now, by law, all these people got attorneys. So now they go to attorney and say, no, the law is 3 o'clock, close at 4. What authority do we have on that point of view?
Right. So here's the way that this works, essentially. When someone applies for a license, you tell them, we want you to close at 2 a.m. And they can agree or they can disagree. If they agree, then you tell us that they've agreed and that you recommend that they get approved for their license. If they disagree, you tell us they didn't agree and you do not think they should get a license.
Thank you.
At that point, they will go before the full board.
Okay.
And when they go before the full board, you will tell the board, look, we've got a problem on Fulton Street.
Yep.
Things are there's too much action on Fulton Street and we need these places to close earlier. And the full board, our perspective is if the community board and the licensee disagree, we want to find somewhere in the middle to find a compromise. So that to me means you want to ask for more than you really want. As a community board, you should be asking for more than you really want. You should be asking for midnight, for example. And then when they want 4 a.m. and you say midnight, then the board can find a compromise, which would be 2 a.m., for example.
Okay.
But the point is that once you say they wouldn't agree with us, we oppose, then they have to go before the full board, and that's when stipulations get put on their license to say they have to close earlier than the law says.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, the community board has stipulations. We put in a resolution stipulation that we all new licensees, because
Yes.
we cannot, the others are grandfathered. We do ask
right.
that. Yes, okay. Anyone else have any problems? Oh, yes, the if if there is complaints from establishments in our district, do you know what would be the most common if you can remember, or if there's any offhand that you can?
I mean, generally, the complaints that we get most are noise complaints. That's generally, but I don't remember exactly for your district. I can look it up and find out. But we get noise complaints, which is not really something that we deal with very much. The thing that concerns us the most, obviously, is violence or sales to minor. So when we hear about that, that's when our ears perk up and we have a problem. Noise is something that the DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, they really deal with that. But for us, it's about violence and sales to minor. That's where we really get involved very quickly.
Okay. And our issues in our district is because the majority, these establishments are in residential neighborhoods, and we have the commercial overlays, but the majority is in residential areas. So noise complaints, parking issues, they'll park on the sidewalk, they park in front of people's driveways. They're staying open to 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Those are the issues.
Right,
there's drugs, there's prostitution, there's all the issues that are on Fulton Street. That's the issues that we're having in the community.
Yeah, there's something that we call the police focal point, and if a location is getting a lot of police attention, then we can step in and start enforcing that. So they're not allowed to be a center of police attention. If they're staying open too late, we need to get complaints, and if we get those complaints, we'll investigate them, and they'll have a problem because they shouldn't be staying open later than 4 a.m. That's the time they have to close. Furthermore, people should not be gathering outside of their establishments after 4 a.m. That's a big problem, and that's when a lot of problems happen.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important that we get complaints. The complaints are specific about a certain place that stays open too late, and when we're likely to see it. Like, say, for example, if they stay open too late on Fridays and Saturdays, and it's this specific location, that's an actionable complaint. That's something we can do something about.
Okay.
Now, one more question. Let's say that some lawyers come in, right? A lot of bars don't come to our board for the license because they got the lawyers, and lawyers do that. Now, what can we do about that? I mean, they don't come to us.
You can say if they only send a lawyer, you're going to oppose them.
No, the lawyers don't even come. Sometimes the lawyers don't even come.
Circumvent it. They're not showing up at all at the board.
If they don't show up at all, then you can oppose them. And that will force them to show up to a full board meeting. If they don't respect the community board, that's a problem.
But they have the license already. The lawyer already given them the license.
What we're finding is that they're circumventing us and coming straight through the precinct or straight to you and getting the license, and we find about it afterwards.
They cannot come to we will not give them a license until we give them 30 days, and they have to prove that they've come to you. They have to prove that they've notified you. They have to send us proof of that.
What qualifies as proof?
Usually it's a certified mailing label that it's been delivered to your address.
But so if we oppose that, they don't show up. Either they send their lawyer as a proxy, or they don't show up at all and just send a certified mail to us, and we oppose them. And then this goes before the full SLA board. And you're reviewing it. What consideration do you have that they have disrespected the community board?
Well, if it goes before the full board, we want to hear from you and hear the why it's a problem. And we take it very seriously. We take the community board input very seriously. It matters a lot to us.
How are we notified then?
Of what?
Of the establishment that's going for the hearing, or when the hearing is. We wouldn't know.
So, well, if you oppose them, then you know they're going to go.
No, but I'm sorry, you're not understanding. A lot of bars open up, get the license from lawyers. They don't even come through us. Not
Right.
at all.
They can get a temporary license, but they can't get a full license.
What they do, right? Now, what can we do? I mean, there's supposed to be a some kind of form in the SLA that says, have you completed community board application? There should be that.
Right. If they're opening without talking to you, then you need to let me know. You need to let me know, and we'll talk to licensing about it, because that's a problem.
Okay,
Menelo.
and here's the quagmire.
That was,
We're looking for some sort of way that you get something for us that we've seen these people. That certified letter is not working.
You should-
A consideration could be, we have a district manager here that has the votes and everything from this community board. If the person's coming to you for the license, it would get a simple email that has came before our board, could be sent to you, and that would certify that we've seen it. I think that should be a process instituted. You get an email from our district manager that lets you know that we reviewed it, and that will let you know that it actually came before the board. A certified letter coming to this building can get lost, can get ever, and the process just goes right on through, and we never heard it.
yeah, we have other agencies in the building.
So I think the best thing is a direct communication from the community board to your SLA saying they've came here, because she's not going to lie for us or them. The district manager sends you over, yes. The public safety quality of life voted yes, no, maybe, I don't know. But the bottom line, you know they came before us. And that'll be clear up all this mess, whether they came here or not. If you don't have that letter, we never saw them.
Right.
Right. Well, we certainly accept the email from you saying
email,
with your
okay.
recommendations,
Okay,
100%. In fact, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Is to send us an email.
Agreed.
We can't control whether or not you're getting your mail. That's something we can't control.
But I know we
So-
need to enhance the process, because we're telling you there is
Right.
a problem. So
Right,
what we're
okay.
trying to find a joint
Question.
solution to the problem.
I think
I
that
understand.
if
So
you
the question
receive
is-
emails from us,
Can you let me answer?
if you receive emails from us, that's telling you those are the people that came before us.
I understand. So the question is, and this is a good question, if you're not receiving your mail regularly, then what can we do? Right? Am I right about that?
Yes.
Okay. So I need to, I mean, that's something I'm not, that has never happened for us before. So I need to find out the answer to that and come up with a solution as you
Okay.
suggest.
And
Okay.
can
Not
you
receiving
take them our
email.
suggestion that they accept an email from us when we make our comments? That would be proof that they came.
Well, one thing that occurs to me now is that you could have a blanket opposition, like you're opposed to all new licenses in your district unless we hear from you. So that's
we gotta
one
bring
thing.
that
That's
before
one
the full
idea.
board.
I have to tell you, I have to make sure that that's okay. That's an idea, and I have to check.
Is that something being proposed? Let me make that clear. Is you're saying that's something that's being studied now, the SLA, or is that something
No,
that's
that's my idea in response to your.
that's your idea?
situation.
That's your idea.
Yes.
So if we adopt that idea, will that become part of the process there?
That I need to find out.
That's what we need to find out. Can you do that?
That's right.
'Cause
I will find that out.
Before we can do that, because we got to put it to the committee, then we got to put it to the full board. But we first have to know from you, is that
Yep.
acceptable at SLA?
Yep. I
That
understand.
idea or the idea of expecting an email from the community board
Right.
comment on this with every license that comes in this district. One or two. Can you get
Yep.
back to us on that?
I can.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, it is now 7:04.
So,
Do we have any other questions for Mr. Stoller? I think those were, we was taking into consideration your time, and we wanted to limit the amount of questions. These
I
were those
appreciate
that were
that.
prepared in advance.
Can I give you my email address?
Yes, sir.
For everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's David dot
David dot.
Stoller, that's STOLER, at SLA dot NY dot gov, G-O-V.
Just,
And I'm
you wanna call your board? Okay, your board, you should call them up.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'm more than happy to answer any follow-up questions you have by email.
Yes.
I can also give you my telephone number if you'd like it.
Yes,
Please.
please.
Okay, it is 929-729-1947. And
Thank
I
you,
will
sir.
inquire about these two issues tomorrow, first thing in the morning. The first issue that I'm going to inquire about is about New Year's Eve permits and overnight permits, and whether or not the 10-day notification includes the community board. The other thing I want to inquire about is if you're not certainly receiving your mail, what can we do? And in particular, one idea is to only consider those that we receive an email from you from. And the other idea is to have a blanket opposition unless we get an email. So
Excellent,
those are the two options of that. All right.
excellent.
So I will write to Ms. Perkins tomorrow with the answers that I find out. Does that make sense?
Makes
Yes,
sense.
sir.
Yes.
Would anyone else like to be included in that, on that email?
You get it.
She will forward it.
She reported to the chair of the board and the chair of the committee. We'll get it. She-
Okay, I appreciate that. And I appreciate your time that you've given me. It means a lot to me.
We appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you so
Thank you.
very much.
All right, have a great night.
You too as
Thank
well.
you.
Okay.
Okay, how do we end? Oh, we stop?
I guess it's the X over there.
I have a question. No, they said we don't have to do anything with this recording options, right? I don't want anyone to say I'm messing up the recording if I stop it.
Right.
Stop, just press stop. Stop.
Is
Press stop.
that your final answer?
Yeah, stop. When you got recording, there we go, we stop.
What does it say now? Okay. Click record to record the meeting. Transfer will also be available after the
Yeah, we
meeting.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. My first one be 35.
Who's
I ain't.
computer? That's Shamika's computer or Melinda's?
I don't know.
It was here. It was-
Can anyone,
no, I
everyone sign the sign-in sheet? Can we pass it
I
around,
asked
please?
Ms. Perkins to record it because it was such a low volume.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Miss
Can
Perkins.
you get it for the video?
Well,
Yeah, however
Yeah,
they
once
enhance
it-
it,
yeah.
however. Right?
Because we could really.
So, Mr. Alberto, just to let you know, estamos, the meeting started at 6:30 on the dot.
Thank you. Yeah,
All right.
I just came late. I had a way to go to, and not family member, but somebody that we knew. So I apologize.
condolences to whoever.
No. It wasn't meant as an insult. It was to let you know that you could take over because we started and it's now in your hands. Everyone has things to do. You don't need to apologize. We just said we started, and the only thing. So we have did not introduce everyone. Only the people that was here. That
Anybody has a
signed.
sign?
Yes.
And then I gave the board members the copy of the minutes as I know it from last month. Anybody wanted to add anything onto that? Feel free.
You have your
But I
copy in a
wanna-
minute?
I want to stop talking because the allergies are
Okay.
Does every committee member have the minutes?
Does every committee member have minutes? Do you have the
You
minutes?
don't have a copy of it? Let me see if I have any more. You have.
don't have
it. It should be. I don't have it. I think it's 7.
Do you have it?
I think it has a 7.
That's one.
I don't have it.
We won't have
I'll
one.
look on. Okay, we can look on together.
Thank you.
Oh, you got it? You got it.
So what do we have this here today? And too much coming?
That we have one.
I'll take it.
We have one.
Is somebody outside?
Is anybody waiting?
This,
There's only
that's
supposed to be
together.
one.
Up in the lane.
Brooklyn Court. But, so we can do the minutes afterwards. This person may have been here. Who's representing, Brooklyn Glen Court? Mr. Keyshawn
Keyshawn
Warren?
Warren, I think.
Is he in the hallway?
Can someone check to see if Keyshawn Warren is in the hall? Negative, thank you.
All right, well,
Put it back. Put it back. You my briefcase. You didn't give it to me.
so, does anyone have a presentation? Anyone have, an agency that they, a program that they wanna discuss? Before we go into, constituent issues?
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We came from Boogaloo Bar and Lounge, we came last month.
Mhm.
I was confirmed that I was supposed to be here. Am I supposed to be here today? Because I've sent various emails, I haven't got a response. But based on our last meeting, you guys had said you wanted to meet the owner, and I don't know if there was any further information that was needed to be discussed.
Oh, yeah,
I
there
remember.
were, but, you've been corresponding with the district office?
Yes?
How many times?
Well, I
When was your
sent,
last one?
Let me just
the
make.
last one was
let's
this
go.
Sunday, trying to confirm,
Sunday.
this Sunday, yes.
No one's gonna.
I know nobody's gonna answer that.
What was the time before that?
I'll tell you right now.
Let's work with that one.
I could tell you that Sunday was a dead day.
So April 13th, and then it was March 10th. On March 10th was following the meeting that we had. I sent some information, and I also said I wanted to confirm if we needed to show up to this one. But based on our previous emails, that's how I got the date of today and time. But I never got confirmation.
You got an
exchanging
email
emails.
confirming today's date?
Okay, so do
I sent various emails, but
no, he said he didn't get any. But do you see the responses?
I see that, yeah, I see that
You
right
wanna
now.
take it from there?
Okay, so I see that, well, for what I see here, we need you to come back regarding the time that you're gonna close, I believe, and the owner, who is the owner,
Yes.
the new owner.
Because
And, but I wasn't aware that you have reached out to get a new date to come here today.
It was just based on our last meeting because I sent emails following March 11th and then April 13th, never got a response. So if I just didn't show up, I didn't want to not show up. But
I
it was based on
understand.
our last meeting that you guys wanted to meet the president. I have the owner here with me, Mr. Perez. But I'm not sure. I'm here. I don't know.
well, we did have some questions.
We did.
So I know that you guys were here. I'm sorry. My name is Grace. I am the Jones Roberts. I'm the secretary here. So a couple of questions that we had was well, one of the first thing is that you can see that in what we have with the presentation was the opposition to your end time, your closing time, and that is not just for your establishment; it's the establishment in the district. Okay, to give you a little bit of history of it is on one side of the community board, 2 a.m. establishments closed. On this side, Cypress Hill side, everybody's closing at 4 a.m. It's chaos for the community. Okay, a lot of complaints, a lot of issues. And we wanted to bring everyone in full compliance against the full district. Fulton Street is a long commercial area that abuts residential areas everywhere. Okay, well, only a few blocks like around here, they have some manufacturing. Other than that is everyone's house. Okay, parking issues, noise issues, public drinking, public urination are all issues that no one wants in their community. We don't want it in our community. So your 4 a.m. closure is already, the community board has a blanket stipulation against those new applicants that are coming in, right? We want 2 a.m. closures. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that you're a bar or lounge, but you don't have security contract that was presented to us. Okay, wait. I wanted to tell him
Yeah,
some of the
sorry.
things. I know that you said that you would get back to us on that. I remember that.
I did. Okay.
The other thing is that, and then specifically also, not only this the time of the closure, but there are some nights you were gonna have live music and drinking and outpouring onto the street is a big problem for the community because those things in combination, music, a little bit of food, because you don't have much, and alcohol doesn't bear well, right? Also, there's, the issue with parking is all over the place. We didn't know your layout as far as the other locations, where were churches, where were schools, where were daycares, where other establishments that have alcohol, right? So there was no layout that was presented to us. And also, it says that you listed as the owner and the manager, but you have, it's gonna be like 76 seats. That's a lot to manage, as far as we were concerning for one person. What you have live music and drinking and a little bit of food. That's a concern for us.
But the main concern, Ms. Jones, is that the transfer of the business. Before, I believe it was La Vera Lounge and other.
Right, but we just found out there is no transfer, so that's
For
why they,
for Babalu.
he can't transfer anything.
Right.
So that- yeah, right.
That was one of the issues that we had.
Right, it was an issue, but
What was the issue?
that, because you can't transfer a license from one establishment to another.
Not transfer it, but based on the active license in the premises, we were applying for our license and our temporary based on the previous active license.
So
It's not a transfer, you're correct, but in the application, that's how it's mentioned, the 30-day transfer convenience.
Right, so
Right.
that's the issue, that you had to have
Yeah.
exactly your name there, the new owner, everything's gotta be new.
Everything has to be
For the
new.
new name.
I'm not understanding. Where is the issue?
Oh,
Okay.
SLA says that you can't transfer over a
I know,
license.
but
Yeah,
you're saying you have an initial, we're not applying for a transfer. The temporary permit, when you apply for the temporary permit, it'll tell you 30-day based on the transfer of sale. If there was a sale that happened, yes, but he's not transferring the license in the new application. It is a new application.
Okay.
that's why I said it's no longer an issue.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. We found out everything we
Right.
need to know from SLA.
Okay.
That's why I said I didn't bring it up, because it was no
Right.
longer an issue.
Okay.
That was a clarification we needed from SLA, not so much for you. So if anything that you wanted to tell us that you have.
So the security company that we currently have is called Security Watch, Guard, and Patrol Agencies, and the reason they haven't gave us the new contract yet is because they're waiting on the temporary permit. They say they cannot issue the new contract under a liquor license that doesn't exist yet. But we are paying them, the previous owner's paying them, they are securing the place. How many security guards do you have?
3 and 4.
We have one at the door and 3 all around the premises. You mentioned that you don't see how one person can manage 76 seats, and that's understandable, but I believe with employees and security, you could handle it. It's not a big establishment, it's more long, it's not wide. That's that. And regarding people coming outside and having gatherings and loitering, that doesn't happen in our establishment. That's why we pay our security. We ensure that once you get out of the establishment, you cannot be in front of it. We need to call you a cab, we'll call you a cab. But you cannot stand around hanging 10, 15 minutes the most, but you gotta move. And regarding the stipulation, if that's what it is across the board, we're gonna request with the SLA 4AM, but if that's a stipulation that they input, then we agree. You know, we wanna work in unison with our community. We don't wanna go against our community. Anything that we could do to improve the quality of life as well, but also not hindering the New York City nightlife. This is something that's been promoted rather than demoted. So when you come to Brooklyn, like you said, I have other community boards where it's 2 a.m. across the board, but that also hurts the business owners and the commercial area. So if you guys have any other questions or have any other follow-up comments,
I just don't have all the information that I have.
I need great answers. It's got to be written.
Okay.
The application has to be restructured and put before us with this information we're asking. Your floor plan, your licensing contract, who that is, or who you're applying for the license, your name, everything, all that has to be written. And that has to be submitted to the district manager, because she has to put it through the process that we get it, the police get it, and everybody else gets it. See, you're coming giving us the answers, glad, but that's not gonna move it through the committee, because
But the
the
thing
committee
is,
has
when
to
I-
get that application.
when I submitted my application, sir, the diagram was included, the menu was included.
No, we didn't see
No, but
that.
we didn't see
We
it,
didn't
that's
see
the
it.
thing.
I'm also having issues communicating with you guys.
I understand.
And this has been an issue going
Well,
back
if
and
you're gonna
forth.
call on a Sunday,
So how
we
can I
won't be
better,
here.
how can I better get the
Wait a
documents to
minute,
you?
you said you called April 13th, which is
I
a
did not
Sunday.
call, I emailed.
April 13th on a Sunday. You're not gonna get a meeting with us the next day.
I also emailed March 11th.
March 11th, that's right after you left here with your
Yeah.
comments.
Following up.
We will follow up. We
I
will
have to
actually,
do this.
I understand.
Okay.
We will do our due diligence, and I have to apologize if that happened.
Because the
okay?
thing is, in my packet, I have all that. Community board, I need to send you the list of the surrounding businesses and the other areas that have on-premise liquor license. I sent that. You're telling
I
me I
understand.
did.
No. We're not saying that you
saying
didn't.
Okay.
You said we didn't get it.
Okay.
So that's a little difficult there, because I
Okay.
can say one thing, you can say another.
Very, very
No,
simple.
no, we don't.
Why don't
we
you
have it.
forward the copy of that to us now when you send, but they have the tag on, just forward to us.
We'll
make sure she get it.
No, 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 no.
I'm only exchanging with Melinda.
Right, and can you just resend that email again?
Okay, but which email specifically?
March 11th, because that's the one that you said you sent everything, right?
No, okay.
Okay.
March 11th was the following day of our meeting.
Yes.
And
Okay,
that email said what?
I'll tell you right now.
Please.
Can we open the door now?
Yeah, can we, yeah, we
Crack
can.
the window.
I'm dying here.
Crack the window, please.
Literally dying.
So
Crack
if
the
I
window.
re-forwarded, you guys will see it right now?
No,
No, we won't.
What did you
Well, the
send?
reason why I'm asking
You
you
sent
to
it
send
to
it, because you can't say
All right.
that it was lost.
Okay,
No,
You
no.
just sent it.
okay,
It's a paper trail.
No
Yeah.
problem. And I'm glad I do have the paper trail.
all right.
Good.
March 11th, the day after the meeting, sent her an email.
So send it again to Miss Melinda.
Yes, please.
But basically, in that email was the same thing that you're mentioning to me now, that you
I
didn't
understand.
receive
And
the
I thank you for
diagram, you didn't receive the application, you wanted it to be amended, I amended application, I sent everything, so I've
And the
re-forwarded.
security contract and all that.
The security contract I mentioned to you, I do not have the copy under the current licensee because he still hasn't got his temporary permit. Once he gets his temporary permit, the security agencies are willing to do the contract under the.
We'll follow up with her tomorrow morning.
No
May I
problem.
ask you a question?
Yes.
Because I don't know this. So your security is only there because there's alcohol, or is that what?
Well, our main business operations is bar tavern, so.
No. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm
Yes.
asking because that's the only reason why that you're getting the security, because you want to sell alcohol, right?
Yes.
Because you're not selling alcohol yet.
At the moment,
Well,
the
you-
moment that we're in the track, so this is what's going on. The previous licensee is still there. They're selling under them. We're applying right now. We haven't received anything, and this is why we're presenting our application to you guys.
You know that the SLA said that can't happen.
What can't happen?
You can't sell liquor under the other licensee.
So
He
you're
hasn't got in
applying
there.
for a
We're
new
still
liquor
in the
license
sales
under
contract.
present active license in that building?
We're still in the sales contract, and this is why we're presenting our application to you guys. He still hasn't got his temporary
Oh,
permit.
okay, so we're gonna
Okay.
really have to consult with SLA and Mr. Stotler, because you are a very unique situation.
Yeah.
Because technically, you're not
Okay,
even.
okay, wait, wait,
established.
I don't understand. I don't understand. how
Okay,
you
now it
do-
was okay. You're waiting for everything to go through, so that way he stops his license.
The process of the
And then you're at the
application
end.
is supposed to say a 30-day notice to the community board. You're supposed to go to the community board, and once you get the approval of the community board, you send the application. Once I receive my certified mail slip, I sent the application. He's not in the business. We're proposing to you everything that we have, the menu, how it is, our diagram, the security personnel. He's gonna stay with the same security personnel, and this is why I'm able to give you the details of how many is gonna be there. I'm able to give you the name of the company. But I don't understand how it's out of order if he's not there. We're applying, and if it goes through, it's based on a continuance that if he gets his license, he's gonna continue with the contract. If not, the contract is null and void. That's something that they agreed to.
No, I don't really understand. I'm sorry.
Once we get the
Because you're-
paperwork, let's get you
No,
back
no,
in
no.
there.
There's an establishment that's already there, that's always open, that's already selling.
I
them.
know.
So,
We need to ask the
Yeah,
question.
I mean, this-
That's why he needs to get the papers to Ms.
You're right.
Perkins,
He just
so we
did, he
can
did.
bring this to the table and do it the proper justice that you
Okay.
deserve. Get her the papers, then we'll ask any
already done
questions we'll have, or I tell
Yep.
Sully, by the time you get here the next time, we're ready to deal with everything you got.
Okay.
That's it.
thank you very much.
Should
for
I
your
expect
time.
a follow-up email? Because
You
She's
will.
gonna,
You
she's gonna
will.
respond. We're gonna talk to her tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And we're gonna talk to her tomorrow morning saying that you sent emails, you need to respond.
thank you. I appreciate
And
that.
we thank
for
you
your time.
very much for showing
Thank you
up
for
again.
your time.
Thank you. Thank
Business,
you.
man, I appreciate
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Gracias.
Everyone signed in on the sheet, right?
Yes, yes.
And anyone again have questions that they want to talk about from the previous minutes?
For the folks that are here and do this stuff, I said we have an elected officials office in the room now.
Well, we know that we can't vote on this application.
Right.
Right.
Let's answer that.
We can't vote on
You
it.
can't vote on Brooklyn Blend?
Correct. No.
No.
No, he's not here.
He's not here.
No, that's what we need to put on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't
Couldn't
vote.
vote
We can't
because-
Yeah,
vote.
for the record, yeah, we can vote due to the fact that he's not here.
Right.
Not here.
So, continue.
And, but that's nice enough that he showed up. I don't blame him. It's like,
Well,
I
he
want to get this business started. Mhm. Okay.
Basically, what we discussed is not really part of the record because he was not on the agenda and he's not presenting any paperwork before us, so that's really.
But we give
you
it,
know what, he
we
can't-
give
he
we give
can't.
it some respect. Do they?
Yeah,
Yeah, no. I'm saying to, but far as a committee
Yes.
reported
Yes.
comments, we don't have any till we get
Correct.
some paperwork and
Yes. Yeah.
representing him.
Absolutely.
Are the minutes? Can we accept them? Do we have addendums, anything?
I make,
Do a motion, make a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as they are.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Any new old business concerns? That he was old business, but,
He was old.
anyone that want to discuss any issues that are, yes?
Yes, it's an issue that, the old guy, the guy that came before us, Santiago Restaurant, Santiago Restaurant, I know you recall that. So he opened, he got a new name, and now there's a church right across the street.
Oh, no, but I don't think that, is the church new?
There he is.
No.
Brooklyn Blend.
Oh,
Oh,
Sorry for being late, everyone.
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay.
okay,
We'll table,
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
table that.
Yeah.
Let's bring him in.
yes.
Because
Yes.
he's here. Let's bring him in.
Yeah,
We almost
No, we
kicked
gotta
you out
stop
already.
because we don't want to talk about.
stand on that X over there.
Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Hey.
Good day.
Hey, my name is Alberto, my name is Alberto Ramos, I'm the co-chair of the committee. This is.
My name is Grace Jones Roberts, and I'm the secretary here of the committee. How are you?
Pretty good, how are you?
So,
I'm Monique Wallace. I'm one of the board members for the Quality of Life Committee.
Brother Paul
And
Muhammad.
please don't forget to sign in the attendance sheet stating that you were here.
Mike,
Brother Paul.
introduce
you
yourself,
go.
introduce yourself.
Hi, this is Tanina Wilkinson, community board member. Hi.
Brother Paul Muhammad, public safety.
Public service.
Welcome.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
okay, so,
Okay, so we'll ask that question. They didn't sign.
so we got your application here. Is it a transfer? If I could,
This is-
it says transfer.
Renewal.
You for land, your committee's for land trust, so,
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
what committee are you in?
I'm just,
Oh,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm not on this committee. I just
Okay.
can't.
She's on multiple.
I just show up to all of you.
Good, thank you. Okay, I was saying, application here says transfer.
It's a renewal, so,
You see, that's what,
We gotta correct, there's a couple areas
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
couple.
We'll
of
correct them.
so, go right down your application there.
Are you
No.
Mr. Warren? Okay. I'm sorry. Some people know you, but I don't know you. And you have a full service restaurant?
it's, yes, it's a quick serve. So it's a juice bar, cafe, and eatery, right here on Livonia and Sheffield. We do offer wine in the afternoons. My intention when we built the store during COVID was to turn it into a wine bar at night. So that, people can have a safe space to actually gather and become music.
So now it's just wine, you're paying just for wine.
Just for wine. Want to stay within the mission,
That's good.
right, of healthy eating.
Mm-hmm.
Some people may not like wine as, or associate it as
So this is a
healthy eating,
new-
but
this
again, it's
Not a
for
trend.
the atmosphere of the space.
So renew.
It's renewal.
Renew.
It says.
It's sorry.
Renewal.
It's a renewal. Okay. And so you said I'm sorry. It's a couple of things was going on. You said a juice bar and
It's a juice bar,
And eatery.
cafe, and eatery. So although our primary function is juices, smoothies, and shakes, we
Okay.
do also have a cafe element to our space.
Okay.
And we also serve healthy food, so salads, sandwiches, wild rice, on the healthier side.
okay. So you do not rent out. You
How many,
pre-recorded music.
how many tables are there?
There are currently 7 tables.
All right, because the application
It
says
says
9.
Yeah.
So it's 7, we'll make, that has to be corrected. And is it 20 seats?
Yes,
Okay.
So your hours of operation on the application says 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.,
that is correct.
but you're gonna be serving wine until 11 p.m.?
That's the intention during the summer months. We will, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it'll be from 5 to 10, I believe.
But you can't be open until 6 p.m., but then serve wine until 11 p.m. So that has to be corrected. Your hours of operation has to,
Coincide with the.
Coincide with the,
Your operations
your
go
other-
to 11 p.m. then.
right, your hours of operation.
So you just
are
change your
8 to
application
11
from
p.m.
8 to 11 p.m.
Got
Yeah.
it, got it.
That's all.
Okay. And there is also a time of stopping the wine, so you can't serve wine until closing.
so it has to be an hour before. So if it's 11, then it's 10.
10 o'clock, got it.
Yeah. So that has to change.
Okay.
Yes.
To change that.
Just go write those notes down, guys, sorry.
Sure.
You're not looking for any outdoor, any outside seating, any, right?
No,
I don't have. I don't see a layout of the any other.
Well, it's a renewal.
Oh, so we should have
It's
that.
a
already.
renewal.
we should
You already
have
got that for the first
Okay.
time you came before us.
Okay, we should have that.
So when you started, when did you start it? I mean, I know it's a renewal, but when you started, it's the business, when you
when
started,
did I start?
Yes.
Oh, COVID, it was August of 2020.
2020, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. Anyone in the community, any constituents?
I-
I'm not familiar with the area. Those
Very
lots.
familiar with it.
Yeah.
Livonia and Sheffield on the corner.
Very, very familiar with it. It really brought a different atmosphere to the Livonia corridor. The food is excellent.
Okay.
Going in there, it stays clean. And you have, I know Uncle's security there, he keeps it moving. It's very well respected. Gives back to the community, supports, he actually has some food here from
Brought food
here.
here.
He's done some schools in the neighborhood around there. Our Sister Tomlin has utilized him. He's very open. He has a good reputation. He has another place down on Tompkins.
Yeah, so our first location we opened 9 years ago on Tompkins and Decal.
I've been to that location.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was,
It's the
okay.
same, yeah. That location, we do not offer wine. However, I saw the need for a space in East New York. Being a financial advisor, I actually serviced this area at the Chase Bank for over 15 years. So I knew, driving out of the community just to have a meeting was, really interesting to me. So bringing this space definitely was a passion of mine because of that.
I've seen both our councilmen in there from Charles and Chris Banks
Banks.
there. They're patronizing. I've had a couple of meetings in there. Like I said, it's a breath of fresh air under that long train track.
Yes,
But he's
Yes.
there. Again, I really happy with the place. I just popped up. I never made myself known to Andrew, but just popped up for a few years now.
Are you open Sundays?
I'm not currently open Sundays, and the reason for that is because of staffing and my own personal mental solitude.
Sure.
Okay, okay.
Operating 2 spaces 7 days a week would be training on one person, so I use that day to hang out with my family.
He's hired a lot of young people from the community. I see him there as an opportunity. A lot of people have jobs there. That's been a good thing. It's all around a positive place. I'm telling you. You know how critical I am.
Yes,
No,
yes.
I'm telling you.
We do know.
So we work with a lot of
So-
organizations within the community itself. For our team, I would say about 80% of our team lives in the community. Cypress Hills is one of the organizations we work with. I hired 3 of their interns that intern with us. So it's definitely an opportunity for the youth to see how we operate as a black business. Successfully, by the way.
I honestly, one thing wrong with your application, and that's a transfer. That's the only thing you ask for.
Yes.
You got to do renew, and that's about it,
Got it.
And then just
Yeah.
correct the amount of tables.
Yes.
The
to
time,
7 rows.
the time,
And the time.
And
the time,
Yeah.
the time.
I have a question for the community. We do have bar seating, does the bar,
Oh, yeah, it says 10.
does that count as a table?
Number.
Maybe that's
No,
why-
no,
No.
No, it's a seat.
No.
It's a
Incorrect.
seat.
So we have the right, okay.
That's a seat. Can't change it. You mean that L shape when you
Yeah.
come in?
Yeah. Okay.
I have no other questions.
Need, Mr. Hope?
No, I'm good with that. Okay.
Okay.
It's good to see that place.
Any other question for the board?
Nope, I have no other questions.
The only
Oh,
question
sorry.
is that as a community-based business, definitely I feel like in East Bed-Stuy, I have it down pat, right? We're always, in the community, we're always working with community board members. Is there any way I can support as a business owner in the community to, other than what I'm currently doing, to help?
I'm telling the kids, say less. We gonna say less. We gonna say less. You gonna be. Ask you that question. We got them on tape asking that question. There it is. Don't worry about it.
No, we got
The time you got to throw your phone, your phone's gonna start ringing. Thank you for that genuine.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
always
Yeah,
can use
thank you.
support and for this community. And you've already shown it by your dedication to have these young people, and I'm really very happy seeing them there. I see how they respect this place. That's very interesting how they respect it. I've seen the Roughnecks and everybody else go in there. They stand in line, they wait, they get their smoothie, and they're eating well.
Yes. It was interesting to see people coming in. Weirdly enough, when I built the space with my father, just fun fact.
Pop Special, my favorite smoothie.
Yes, and we repurposed a lot of the materials in the space from around Brooklyn. While we were building, and this was the interesting thing in the community to see, while we were building, I was really intentional about making the space look beautiful, right? Individuals in the community came into the space and asked, why are you building this here?
Mhm.
Right, from our own community, our own neighborhood.
Mhm.
Oh, this is too nice for the community,
Mhm.
right? And multiple people did this. So that was an eye-opener to me to understand the impact that we're having as a business to come in and bring a beautiful space for the community. And we have a lot of work to do
Yeah.
to kill that old mental
Sure.
stigma
Yes.
that,
conditioning.
right, that we don't deserve Park Slope or downtown Brooklyn or Bed-Stuy.
Forget about the location. We don't deserve to be treated ourselves decent and self-respected. I don't care about downtown.
Right.
I care about how my people feel about themselves. And like I said, I know the crew around here. I know who's around you. You don't catch any fever. You know, they like you, he respects them, and he be where you at. I'm telling you,
That says a
you
lot.
rec- 3 chicken wings and fried rice was the rule, and that was kicked up right. Right there. But you know, it's good. It's a
So-
good thing.
That's on the, so Associated is across the street,
Right.
and then the,
Right.
fire department, fire
Around
department.
the corner.
Okay, so
That's
yes,
where he's
yes,
at.
yes,
Now,
okay.
how do you, and unfortunately I haven't had the opportunity to go there. Well, how do you determine when like there's gonna be people going there to drink wine at the bar? Now there's gonna be kids there also, the smoothie and all that. Now like we had the same problem with the other lady that wanted the sweets and
Yes.
So now, how do you handle? If say somebody's there drinking and how many like 3 or 4 wine and then they get kind of silly. They got kids here having a smoothie. How do you handle that? I mean, like that's
Well, we don't promote. My wine sales is dismal, right? We don't promote that we are selling wine, right? We don't promote it. That's number one. Also, during the day, you would not see my wine bottles displayed. So we're promoting healthy eating, food, smoothies, and juices during the day. And we're very mindful that there are students coming in, kids coming in. That's why we have a transition point where we transition it into a wine bar at night. And proof of concept was every time I do that, I'm not playing certain music, right? I'm keeping it very mature. I've had karaoke. I've had jazz night. I've had different things that can stimulate the community. And I feel like these are the elements that you have to pay attention to as a business owner, because then you can you can attract a wrong crowd. So that's how I differentiate between the wine, the smoothies, and the juices. It's just specifically not promoting it at a certain time. Also, when I do promote it, I'm there. If I'm not
No,
there,
okay,
someone
okay.
is
But, you know,
is
like-
trusted.
Summer's coming. Summer, I mean, maybe a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, they go there, sit down, have a smoothie, but then it opens up, it's like a bar, and now the guy it's kind of silly, to say it nicely, and like, there's security there, or
No.
management, or,
Security is one of the elements that I do not plan on bringing in for a certain reason. If someone sees security at the door, you're automatically creating a stigma for that space, right? This is for any one of you can come into my space and feel comfortable and feel, safe. Also, before I open those doors, I made it my duty to go around in the community and give out free smoothies and let everyone know, hey, this is a black business. This is for us, right? So I got the respect back from the
no,
community.
I see that. If he give you that, okay, I mean,
No,
you know,
he doesn't call it security, but he got own there. I'm trying to
But
change.
yeah,
He don't call it security, but all the homies know it.
Right,
He keeps it regulated. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
he's a regulator there.
You know.
I've seen him give a certain look, a smile, or whatever they go.
Right.
It's good, man. It's good.
all right.
It's really, really nice.
Just fix those three things, and I don't see no problem with it.
I would implore you guys to have a meeting. I know this is the safe space, but I'll implore you to invite you to have your next meeting at my space.
Oh, sure, I say, we could go
He's trying to
there.
make us fat.
We can do that.
I accept
that, but
But you
I
can
think we
drop
can
some
have
stuff.
an unofficial meeting.
Unofficial, yeah.
Or you can just drop some stuff by at our next meeting.
I think we can have an unofficial meeting.
The little patties are the kill boys.
All right.
I remember when you brought the stuff for one of the meetings.
Yeah.
It was salmon sandwiches.
Can I just write it down? I'll
Oh,
give,
we
I'll
don't
give
talk
you back
about
the
sex.
paper.
So good.
So if there's no other question for the gentleman,
I'll give
No.
you
Thank you so much.
I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming. Thank you. I
Shake
appreciate it.
hands on
Thank
this
you.
perk.
Again, sorry
Thank
for my
you.
lateness. I got
No,
No,
it's
it's
okay.
okay. No problem.
Two swords. Thank you again.
Okay. Thank you for
you so
coming.
Appreciate
much.
your call.
Thanks, meeting you.
Do I have to stay or?
No.
No,
Am I released?
No, you
Go.
You may go. Yes.
like the
You'll
club.
hear from Miss
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here.
Thank you again, guys.
Take it
You're
easy.
welcome.
Much success. Much.
And the address as well.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Don?
610 Livonia. 610 Livonia.
Oh, 16, okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Well,
It's on
Don.
the-
No, he said 6
We're chopping along. We could get out here early.
well, we're
right
here tonight. I represent
Oh, he
from
said
Sandy
6.
Nurse's office.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What happened? What happened to your participatory budgeting? Come on, you got something to say.
Give us some update, Don.
What you say?
Thanks again, everyone.
All right.
Thank
Don.
you.
So, say for the record who this gentleman is.
Participatory budgeting, we'll get the announcements tomorrow on who's the winners in terms of what's on the ballot, in terms of projects.
Yeah. What's your name? I don't.
Who are you?
For those who don't know, my name is Dom Alexander, just a community member who was fortunate to work with the council member Sandy Nurse.
Okay.
I'm here representing her on her behalf. And just to give you an update on participatory budgeting, results come out tomorrow on who wins on the ballot. But then we also have an internal competition where we see who gets the most votes within the community. How many people we get engaged? It's a civics.
Okay.
So we're tied with Jennifer Gutierrez's office, neck and neck. So we're hoping to hear tomorrow who are the winners of the projects, who get the $1 million, and if we got the most engaged voters in the district.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Just to let you know. Oh, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Now I just felt like I wanted a little bit more.
No. I don't know if you received the request yet, but as you see, we have a media group right here now. So that we're petitioning both city council persons to support that. For being for 2 years with no financial support.
Okay.
So look forward to getting a proposal from us. to
Oh
help
yeah,
support
put in
our media.
proposals, discretionary funding, however y'all
Well,
want.
we need that because-
That's Fran right there. I'll put in a good word though.
All right, yes. Thank you so much. We put that on.
Okay. Go forward.
What happened? No, it's better now. I got air.
Yes.
Yes.
It's much better now.
All right. So now,
Oxygen.
any old business?
Old business?
Still gonna know.
No.
Yes.
On my kind of neighborhood, Redwood between Hale and Norwood, I'm going to bring up the businesses, old with the new. How are they transferring the license? Have you ever heard them come to the community meetings to renew their liquor license or transfer the business within another party because there's a lot of commotion in my neighborhood. I have to use Facebook just to calm them all down.
Right.
So you can see if you go to my neighborhood right now, there's no music being played. I have to constantly continuous with Facebook. So I have a problem with the salon in the corner. The address is supposed to be 235 Ridgewood Avenue, but they marked it down as 233 Ridgewood when they renovated the building. On the map, it's 235 Ridgewood. The business is supposed to be next door, but it's on the corner, 235 Ridgewood. They're not closing on time. Like
What is
yesterday,
it? What kind of
what's the name
business?
of it?
Liz, Liz Beauty Salon.
Uh-huh.
And they're registered to the wrong address?
Yes, they're
That's
registered
not-
to next door and
They're
they're
not closing.
on time. They're
What
staying
time is
an
that?
hour early to 5 hours later.
What?
And they're having
In the
beer
beauty salon?
in the beauty salon. I'm fed up with them already.
So the Department
No,
of
no, no, no,
Buildings.
no, no. We have an analogous establishment right here on Lincoln. It's doing the same thing.
So you can call the Department of Buildings.
You know what I'm
Big
talking
one,
about.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, 233 Ridgewood, and the address is 235 Ridgewood.
You know, it's an interesting thing because there was there's a salon over there by
Go into a basement.
Hemlock.
Illegal basement.
before
Oh,
that.
wow.
I actually liked the fact that they were having
This is
wine
why
there. I was
it's
like, and they got
like-
flowers in it. I thought there was a cute thing,
If you
you
look at
know.
my notes,
Until-
That's a bill here.
No. I mean, it was during COVID. I mean, they had flowers there, a little music. It was nice. They closed on time, and there's no issues. Did my hair nice? Daughter's hair nice. But I never heard of them, or I've ever went past there and they're partying and music and anything going on. It was just a bunch of ladies in there enjoying themselves
All right,
during a global pandemic.
okay.
You know what I mean? But what they're doing on Lincoln is
Yeah, but the NYPD,
I seen-
the NYPD knows about the arrest, so now it's up to them not to react.
So I think you
But
should
I
send your
understand.
information to the district manager. I think that the Department of Buildings needs to know that.
Liz Beauty Salon. So we got
You need
drinking
to send that, but
and
if it's not
5 hours.
registered right in, I mean, it
5
can't
hours
be
after
registered
closing.
properly for me
Wow.
to do a business
Do
at.
you have a 311 complaint number?
When I have the video, I can.
You all like to-
No, you got to at least do one. At least
Yeah.
do one because we could forward it to Miss Perkins and it can get on record.
Okay, there's a lot of complaints on 311 right now on
Oh,
the face.
If you give me those numbers,
You can ask her to
we
follow up
can
with that
ask her
address.
to follow up with it.
No problem.
Because the owner, because I'm quite sure Liz is not the owner of the building has to be responsible for his tenants,
Yes.
right? Because ultimately, he's the landlord.
So what happened with that was when the new owner took over that building, because it was rodent infested, abandoned for many years, they gave it to another lady, a catering lady, that was partners with the bodega on the corner. I always complained about Deacon Jose about it because our district told me that was his responsible to report it. So now when the catering lady sold the business, they gave it to the beauty salon, but they stayed together. So I don't know how they
So
transferred
the
the license.
business versus the building, that's what I'm saying. I want to know the business versus I want to know the building owner.
Building owner. I gotta find his number again.
Well, we can, some of this stuff
You
is
said
public
some
record. But
interesting
if you give us
things.
a 311
Dual
number.
addresses, so you're gonna have to, they're gonna have to sort it out from there. You can go, who's on first, what's on second, third base. If the
'Cause there's
business
an
is
issue.
attached to an address, and if it's the wrong address, they're in violation.
Starts there.
So you got a
Well-
whole lot of stuff going on there.
Yes.
But there's an establishment that doesn't have any liquor license because a beauty salon shouldn't
Oh,
have a
yeah.
liquor license.
They
So
should be
that
taken
should
out.
just be null and void.
And they have a legal barbecue right in front with 3 propane tanks. Not even
See what you said?
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Anything goes.
Anything goes, but this is what I've been saying. People talk about gentrification as if it's wrong, but I like smoothies too. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with me going into an establishment and feeling good about myself and for the surroundings and go, I like this.
That's,
You know, I
That
don't
got
have
nothing
a
to do with
problem
gentrification.
with that.
That's not justification.
That's not
He's in the
justification.
community.
But you understand what I mean? People have, they say they're about issues, but I got issues with that.
Yeah.
That's what I got issues with.
Now,
So, I would like to bring something up if we are moving on.
We
Does
are
that-
moving
does that
on.
continue-
I'm ready to get out of here.
Okay, we're
I just want to, there was supposed to be a flyer in everybody's folder. It's not in there, but It's going to be in the general meeting. We're going to put out copies for the general meeting, and it's for the cannabis committee.
Yeah, it's not
We
in
have this. We had the 75th precinct and the Brooklyn North Task Force, Smoke Shop Task Force, come. They really love what we're doing. We have a QR code on the flyer. You can just put your 311 complaint number in there, and it goes to a spreadsheet in the back end, and the precinct and the Brooklyn North Smoke Shop Task Force get it so that they can go around those locations. And people can give us the locations and we'll put them in there manually if we need to. But it's a Google form, so you just put the address in.
Okay.
So if you look out for it in the main meeting, I'm gonna make sure it's handed out in the main meeting, and it was in the Friday blast. But
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it in the Friday
Yeah.
class.
And
was-
it was sent to all the co-chairs, cause I got it.
yeah,
It was sent to all the co-chairs, so
Yeah.
it's not in the folder,
No.
it was on the
I think I
blast, and it was sent to all
saw
the.
something with a QR.
I did.
Yeah.
It was the
So-
last item.
It was the last item,
on the
yeah.
email, yeah.
Okay.
So just report, if you know of them, report them, because we're working in collaboration with the precinct council. I mean, not the precinct council.
The
with
task force.
With the Brooklyn North Task Force and Smoke Shop Task Force and the 75th precinct.
But I think that's great that you brought that up, because it's in tandem with this committee.
Sure, quality of life.
Quality of life.
Yes.
So dealing with that, and I think you could take that back to your community board, this cannabis situation where we're trying to actually just deal with it. Because there's no
We're
license.
saturated over here. on
There's
Fulton Street. We're one of them.
there's no licensed cannabis in East New York.
No.
None.
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 Exactly.
None.
Yes.
Nobody has a license.
Yeah,
But
you
None.
wait, no, like
Who got a license?
No.
No one.
Nobody has a license?
Nobody has a license
No.
in East New
Nobody,
York.
nobody.
No one, there's
No.
not one.
There's not one.
Licensed
Nobody.
shop.
There's not.
well, we have a proliferation now.
There's
Yes,
no
there's no
licensed
licensed
cannabis
cannabis
in
shops.
So why
East.
they're not shutting them down then?
That's the
That's
question.
what we're trying to
Okay,
Okay, so
accelerate.
we're this quality of life people, and we want to know. We want the 75th. This is what I want you to ask for Ms. Perkins, to have this new quality of life people come to us in a meeting, in a general board meeting. But we want to know who they are and where they are and why they're not doing anything about these issues.
This is what we at the Cannabis Committee, we are liaising directly with the precinct. They have a convoluted system where the sheriff has to shut them down, but
I thought that
they're
had stopped.
no, it hasn't. There was lawsuits, but
Yes,
it's
yes,
still
yes, yes.
going on. It's still going on.
Still going on.
And
Okay.
but it's like whack-a-mole, because they open back up or they open up.
No, but on Fulton Street they never close.
They used
They-
to be one in Crescent. They used to
Yeah,
be-
the one on Crescent, they had an application that was denied.
But
they
what
still
about the one
open.
that was on Hemlock? They
Yeah,
came to the
yeah,
full board,
yeah.
and we actually recommend. I didn't, but
We
you
did.
guys did.
No,
I didn't
we
either.
Did y'all recommend
I
it?
didn't.
You
But
did
they-
too.
they
Yes, you
still
did.
haven't
Yes,
been-
you
No,
did.
I'm
Yes,
against
you
All right,
did.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay,
So
wait,
okay.
wait.
They
Wait.
haven't gotten their OCM hasn't authorized any single one in East New York.
Yeah.
Even the one we recommended for opening, because they had at least a little bit more community ties.
They
than the
did.
others.
That's what I remember.
They have not. OCM has.
There's
not
no
granted any
licensed
license.
cannabis in East New York. That's the
Yeah,
that's the fact.
Yeah.
You
Period.
see one?
Alright.
It needs to be shut down.
Right. Okay, going back to
Sorry,
I'm
I
sorry.
got a
yeah.
little bit animated.
Okay, there's a restaurant bar. Not sure, I shouldn't say restaurant. It's a bar in Fulton Street that came last year to this committee, and they were there before. The church was they were there before. The church came in and the church opened up. So they was arguing about the music from the bar to the church. You know? So now the restaurant sold it to somebody else. So now, because before they were there first,
Yes.
but now the church said, "Listen, it's a new business there, a new bar.
That's right.
Why is it? What's a 200 feet, law?
I'm here first now, and they're correct.
Right,
They're correct.
right. So now, but they got a liquor license. They didn't come through here.
They're
But they
not-
got a liquor
because
license.
it was not supposed to be a transfer.
So that's no, it's not a transfer. But they put the whole thing with a new
They-
law. But they should have come here and they didn't. They went to a lawyer. A lawyer got the license for them, and that's why I'm so fed up that
Well,
they
can you forward that?
That address.
Because if you forward the name of the establishment and the address, we can ask Mr. Stoller to do
Yes,
some
I
research.
definitely will do. I definitely will.
There it is.
And let him be on Zoom and do another meeting with us. Why not?
Why not?
I don't need him to come here. I like this.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
If we
We
can
just
hook
need
up
a
some
speaker.
order, yeah,
We
a
need a
speaker.
speaker.
Yeah, we need a speaker. We get a speaker. Hi.
We get rid of
Yes. But we do thank you for coming.
Hi.
Coming
Yeah,
in,
we know we go.
You gotta get her to sign in.
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Okay, so.
Your name?
Rachel.
Rachel, and you signed up for the community board?
If I signed up.
Yeah, you apply for the community board, or you just wanted to come by the?
I just wanted to, they said it was a meeting, so.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, great.
Rachel, thank you.
Do you have any constituent issues you want to talk about? Because we are here to 8:30.
for the community board.
You what?
Yeah.
I know. And I said, but.
I just came to the meeting.
One of the issues is just the, in my area, because I'm on the banks, the concrete on the ground is like lifted from like the trees, and it's just not level throughout the whole.
Van Sicklen and what? And Van
This is
Sick.
Vantage between Livonia, the train, where the train is.
Oh, with the train. Okay.
And between Livonia and the lot.
Have you made a 311 complaint yet?
I have not done that, yeah.
Can you do
That's
that?
step one.
That's step one.
Give her a folder.
Yeah.
Give her a folder.
And
Does it
also,
say anything?
And
What you want to do?
there's a lot of like hanging out in these areas. On the corners. And I know that they're doing illegal stuff.
Right.
And I know it's on both ends.
Right.
We know what it is.
Especially now in the summertime that's coming up, I definitely see it more.
Right.
And I don't know, I think part of the barber shop that's there, I mean, there seems to be.
Van Sicklen and where?
Are they closing like at a decent
I know.
hour, this barber shop?
John and L.
Do you feel that they closing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
hang out after?
Even during the day, it's like they're there just lingering. And there's a lot of garbage right next to the barber shop.
Well, you're gonna have a folder there. There's different committees that actually address specifically concerns that you may have. Like when you see those trees and Department of Transportation or somebody else that deals with that. they'll
That
actually-
there is gonna be, the numbers at the bottom.
And you see that, those are different committee and meeting dates. Something that's street and something like that, you would probably want to get to that committee. Public safety, I think, we were talking about complaints about, different things you might be feeling unsafe about. That's, hearing you about that, that's a constant concern. Do you own property there?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's all right. You have right to a renter. You live there, you pay your rent. You have rights to have peace.
If you get the 311 complaint, the first thing we do is you can, once you get the number, you can, call. Once you get the 311 complaint number, you can call at the bottom, the number on the bottom, or email Ms. Perkins. She's our district manager, and she can follow up with you. And if you feel that she hasn't followed up within a certain amount of time, you can come back to this meeting, and we will make sure that you can get some kind of, because she has meetings with these different agencies from the city, and so she should be able to say that we have constituents that have these complaints, these are numbers, can you follow up with them? And this is the course that she does. So this is one of her roles that she has.
I recommend calling and emailing.
Yeah.
Both.
Now, again, to you, that's why I asked her to give you a folder. There's a list of 8 committees, I think, on that folder. Each committee is focused on certain things: education, quality of life, transportation. So when you're dealing with certain concerns you have, like you came here, it's the public safety, quality of life, that's more about safety and certain concerns. But if it's transportation or different issues, they also have meeting dates and times. See those committees? So again, or if you have a passion about something that you're interested in, we're always looking for community members to join on to the committee and be a part of it. If you like education, there's an education committee right there. You start to, so again, yes, call with your 311 complaint, but if you've got an actual complaint and want to be specific that gets to committee, like, transportation, education, housing, then look for the date that you see right there, and you can attend that committee and then speak to the chairs like you're speaking to folks here.
So like anything for MTA as well.
Is that transportation?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go right to the train station and tell them you have problems with MTA. The train station you built is dirty, whatever doesn't stop. Your buses are not coming through. That,
Yeah, seriously.
but put the 311 complaint, all that goes straight to the district manager. And she starts making a list of these complaints, and as they add up. But that's how, it be it most impact your time, and what your complaints are, that's the list.
And even if you can't make the meeting, you can ask Ms. Perkins to forward it to the co-chairs of that committee. So we had someone, a representative for the State Liquor Authority on Zoom, and they can talk about the issues that you have whenever they have a presentation, someone comes in from the agency, or when she has her monthly meetings.
And we had the police department come through here, like for the cannabis meeting. We just had the 75th precinct here, so.
And they're at our general meeting also.
There was.
So you see them all over here. So this is where.
But didn't the Lieutenant Elamina said that he was supposed to be coming to these meetings? He hasn't been coming.
No, have we been ready? We're not right here. I gotta talk to him.
No, he said he was gonna be coming to the meeting.
Oh, no, he's just talking about his hours.
Okay.
Ours, I'm talking about our meetings. He
So
said
we
that he
need
was
to
gonna be
reach out
coming
to
to
them
our
and remind
meetings.
them.
Did he not say that? Yeah. Right, you were here too. Did he not say that he was gonna come, Lieutenant Alamino, did he not say that he was gonna be coming to these meetings?
And so everybody
And
knows
since
who
then, I
Lieutenant
think he
Elamino
came.
is? Does everybody know who that is? What does he do? What's his special? I mean, just, we got other people sitting here.
I don't know.
What's it, so?
I don't know.
I'm glad you said you got other people sitting here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You readed this sister like, you can't miss me, I'm 6'2".
Oh, wow.
You didn't even, but you didn't say anything. Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not being disrespectful.
Okay,
No,
go ahead.
I'm enjoying it. Go
Not
ahead.
a word was said to me, not even, I caught a few glimpses. I
I've
feel
been looking at
terrible.
you
And I
all
mean,
night.
you guys are professional boy. Give me a camera because I got warrants. I'm just teasing. But I mean, not a word
I've
was
been
said. Not
looking
even
at you
a glimpse.
all
Okay,
night.
not a
I know you
glimpse,
felt
not a
my
word
stare.
said to me.
But,
I just-
no, let's apologize it took so long, but we were not gonna leave here without introducing the rest of the board.
At 7:58.
Well, we have a gentleman here that's here. I know him too.
I'm not doing my brother. I'm talking about me, brother.
I understand, but you
But you wait.
Listen, I'm messing
I
this
asked,
up.
was there anyone?
That's what he do.
You
That's
didn't
what he
say
do.
anything.
That's what he do.
I
I didn't
asked.
have to, but I will say this. I will say this. Since I broke the ice a little bit, now y'all was kind of rough on the other gentleman. To me, this is me speaking.
that? Who's
With
that?
with the fix your face. Got the bad way. Oh, with the I'm just teasing. I'm silly. He'll tell you I'm very silly.
No.
With the bar.
Yeah.
With the two gentlemen there. Let me finish.
Let him finish.
He was
About
Let him
emails
finish,
and everything,
please.
And I'm sitting here like, okay, so it's a communication thing here going on. I got it in my notes. I'm like, somebody's missing something. And then with Mr. Smoothie, and I know them, but he was looking at me, he just didn't recognize me. Mr. Smoothie coming in, it was all good. And then you asked a question about if wine is being given, how what somebody may take down 3 or 4, what's gonna really happen? But then I said to myself, wait a minute, before that smoothie place came there, even wine, those stores there got beer and wine. You already know where I'm going.
You're right. But
You-
okay.
No, but let's not stay right there with you.
They were here before. We grilled them before.
No, okay. No, I'm about to grill anything, but
But
it
we
seemed
did.
like
But we
there was
did.
a lot of information that seemed like somebody
Because
didn't get
there's
emails.
one.
And we did address it with the.
One person at a time address what he's saying, please.
And I'm listen.
There's-
I'm
But you
following
picked
the
up on something that was correct, because there is subliminal, but we were direct.
No, you weren't. But when I'm just saying
You may feel it's subliminal, but we were direct in what we were
but I know if I
asking.
went to my sent box and showed that the email went through, it's a paper trail. I'm just
Can I
just
say
saying.
something?
And then with
Were
the
you here last month? Were you here last month?
No, ma'am.
That was old business.
No.
So they was picking up on.
No, I
something
know what you're
last
saying, but I'm just talking about emails.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Even 2004 business, I have nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I'm just a person in the community.
I'm gonna let somebody else finish and I'll comment.
I'm born and raised here, 53 years.
But who are you?
Yeah, who are
Oh,
you?
excuse me. My name is Malik Sherrod. My mother name is Esther Sherrod. My father name is Curtis Sherrod. My grandfather name is Luther, and my grandma name is Carmen Fields. I attended D. South
Maternal or paternal
Yeah, I attended
Sister
D. South
Sherrod,
Carolina
you
State.
get
Maternal or paternal
I
side?
attended D. South Carolina State University, located in the beautiful city of Orangeburg, South Carolina. I was born and raised in this community. I went to St. Rita's. I didn't go to 202. I didn't go to 72. I went to school in Starrett City. I went to Canarsie High School. I played basketball and football. I've never been in any trouble. I might have told a few cops something here and there or whatever. But I'm this person in the community. And then a friend of mine called today and asked about this meeting. So your wording with quality of life,
Public safety,
Public
quality of
safety.
life.
is similar to the new 3,000 officers that'll be doing quality of life. So maybe I might not saying fix it, but when somebody called and the person who answered the phone may need a training, wanted to, answer the question before we answered it. Then he asked again, and they was like, yes, quality of life is the soul. Okay. And it's not the quality of life of what so person called to ask about. But this is a beautiful meeting, but you know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
The 3,000, the 3,000 new cops are
Yes.
being hired for the mopeds, for
Yes.
vending, for everything, just to answer a lot of those calls.
We actually, we had requests, that's one of the statements
No,
that
I'm
I
just saying
said.
the email
yeah,
that
right.
received, and the person asked, and that person on the phone, said it was that type of meeting, and it's not. But this is a gracious, beautiful meeting.
Are you gonna come back?
Yeah, I've
Thank
been
you.
in and out,
We have requests, that's one of the things that I had asked that these officers or whoever is coordinating the program for the 75th precinct, I had specifically asked.
Well, it didn't start yet. I don't think it started yet. I think they just got
I
those
know, we
officers
just
together.
really want some information. We are dying to find
Yeah, I
out.
read an article on it, and I said, okay, this sounds good.
We're clamoring for it.
Yeah, and my mother was very involved. I used to drive
That's what
my
I'm
mother.
gonna tell you.
They know my mother. So a few of y'all came to her.
She was
ceremony.
here when I came.
She transitioned 2 years ago, and she used to come to a lot of the meetings. And
She was here.
Somebody represented one of the big meeting, and the woman told me I saw it downtown. But she said you better keep coming back. But y'all had something for it. They didn't invite me. How y'all gonna have food and stuff? This is 2 years ago, but that's another story.
You were on a diet then, I remember. See, I get him. Y'all
So
know.
he can get.
I can get him.
Go ahead, Brother Paul.
So to deal with what you were saying, like they said, we're going to get on out of here. But that gentleman, I see her slide. She sniffles.
No, I'm just messing with y'all.
No, the gentleman over. No, just give me clarity. It's historical, and he came tonight. But like he said, look what he said. He sent those emails. He said I sent it March 11th, right after he
after
left
the
here.
first meeting.
That means he still didn't have some of the things we want. He still didn't have the contract. So I asked him what it was in the email. He never read it.
And you said put it on paper.
I said, he never read it. Then he said I sent one April 13th on a Sunday.
Yes, it is.
No, wait a minute. Who reading your email on Sunday? You say I'm coming tomorrow.
But y'all bad. Y'all supposed to be
No,
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
So
I know
we dealing with Brooklyn Blend and another thing.
Yeah.
No, he wants liquor. This guy wants liquor.
Yeah,
He dealing wine.
And
And
tell
that's
her
it.
to have that.
Now we got-
See,
See, that hard liquor starts a whole different attitude. Because we're facing that now because people, once they get the liquor license, you can translate into a bar.
Miss Perkins, M.
Let me ask
Perkins.
you one more
That's
question. I didn't
what-
even- So
And but her numbers.
this mention,
This is
I'm
what
just
it's
curious.
Right.
So I dig this group. I dig how y'all staying on top of things.
Right.
But what's this thing about hair salons and barbershops? Like when are they closing? Because I'm gonna assume if Sister Sharon gets her appointment was 5, but she didn't get there till 7, and Lisa gonna take her, they might not get out till 10 because she got and the closing was 8.
That's fine.
Okay, no, but it seemed like it was a
It's not-
problem.
Because of.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm
It's
just
all
talking in
the
general.
all the other elements.
Yeah, because I know
Not
another
that she
bar-
not getting
yeah.
her hair did, that's not the problem.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm not talking about them. I'm just saying in general because there's other shops that are open
We
past a
said the
certain time.
open, we said outside barbecuing and drinking.
I'm not talking about them.
Music.
I'm speaking in general
But
because
that's
they was
that was
saying
our
Yes, that's-
concern.
it was
yeah.
That was the gentleman, he lives
That's
there.
the quality of
His
life
concern-
issues we talking
Yeah,
about.
you're talking about.
No,
I'm not talking
no,
about
but
that.
he said around his house they're gonna turn it into a park.
I understand that, brother.
So that's a problem.
So you want to know what the issue is?
No, not what the issue. But
Right.
when you said that, you said, "What are the hours?" You asked about the hours. But
Right,
what I'm
right.
asking is sometimes I don't communicate well, but I
Right,
think
I
I do
got
all
you.
right.
I got you.
What about other? Because the young lady mentioned, you did mention, they asked, and you said they close a decent hour.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of a decent hour?
Well, I don't usually be out that late.
I mean,
But
but yeah.
I know if I am out late, it's usually closed like, maybe like 9.
Well, some of them be open late, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But I was just curious, the board, do they have a problem with? I'm just curious. 'Cause I get my hair cut before
Can I
9
answer?
o'clock, but.
I see
The
that,
board
I
is
see that.
okay with the businesses saying open, but if they're loitering outside, if they're playing loud music, if they're
Yeah, I'm
partying,
just curious.
that's where the
our
board
concern.
has, that's our
It starts to
concern.
impact the quality of life, because now you don't went from being a hair salon to you
To-
getting your hair done, your head
You know
done.
how to describe.
Yeah.
No,
Your
yeah, I'm
head
just,
bad.
the dumb questions and one you don't ask.
No, but that's a great
question.
question.
No, there's no
Excellent.
dumb questions.
This next gentleman need to introduce yourself, please.
Hi everybody, Christian Celeste Tate from CB4. My mother's Marie Celeste, my father's Lauren Tate.
Get the genealogy. And on your community board for, what do you do there? I know, but they don't know.
Chair of the Committee on Transportation, Public Sanitation, and some else in there.
What areas does CB4 cover?
Bushwick.
Oh, Bushwick, okay.
Yeah.
See, the great thing about him coming is because we don't let these invisible lines divide us as one community.
Yeah.
Because you
And I
can
get
walk,
green for
you can walk across, yeah, please, you can walk across the street. You know what I mean? So the bottom line is that, and that's how
With them curls.
that's how things get by us. Because we get
Yes.
different people who are paid in different interests, political or whatever, something, whatever happens. And then one thing will go right
Yeah.
next door to you, and it affects you here. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the disconnect. Because I walk Bushwick, we walk up that hill, Bushwick, and get to the Burger King and drop it. We're in his district. And see, that's one of the things we're trying to do, more fluency transfer between boards.
Yeah.
That Broadway Junction, there's big things coming there, but it's in, the line falls on our side, but his people use that as a transportation hub too.
Absolutely.
So if we have to vote with a conscience for the whole community and be in communication. That's why I thank him always for stopping by.
But he came here to vote against whatever y'all doing in 5.
That's
Nice.
Was anything
and we can
from
educate.
SLA?
All right.
Was anything from SLA you found that was informative for you, Mr. Stoller from SLA?
Yeah, it was helpful to hear him talk. The thing that I felt was unanswered is that, all right, they're not spending a lot of time thinking about renewals, right? But in both CB5 and in CB4, there are bad actors that own these institutions that have a ton of 311 complaints, are not working with the community, and are having problems outside. And so if they're not looking at renewals or spending any time reviewing that, then how are we supposed to flag bad behavior or bad actors when it comes time to renew that liquor license?
What I got from what he was saying is that the police are more heavily weighed in these renewals than we are. So 311 complaints and has to be logged, and the police department has to know about them, and they have to be more proactive in getting this information to SLA. And for our 75th precinct is not doing it. They're not doing it.
Let me tell you something about 311 and you said with MTA. If you can, utilize social media. When you have a problem with MTA, because I'll go to X and say, if I'm coming out the library getting the book and the bus go right by, I got that number, I go right to X, I guarantee 10, 15 minutes later, they're responding. I had a problem blocking my mommy house driveway. And I call and I write down every number. You gotta write down them numbers and keep them and save them. And I woke up, in the middle of the night, went out, and the car was still there. So I called 311 again, and I gave them that number. They said the police came out and deemed it wasn't blocked. Next
That'll
morning,
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next morning it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
I said I got something for them. I went to Instagram, posted the number from 311, and I put my phone number in it. 16 minutes, I got a phone call from traffic, and they said, "Well, the police said."
That's interesting.
Yeah, the police
That's
said it was what's the name? I said, "I see you when you get here." I was in the back of the house. My neighbor called and said, "The police outside." I said, "It's not police, the traffic guy." I came out, he was already writing the ticket. I said, "I thought it wasn't blocked." And he started going, I said, "Don't get the police. Don't you just write the ticket."
There you go,
So
man.
social media helped.
That is very interesting. We're on social media, right?
Yeah, utilize it. Utilize it.
We're on YouTube. We have the YouTube channel.
I'm not on social media, so don't look for me.
Yeah.
I found out 10 years ago I had a Facebook
I
under
advise
this alias.
Let's get back to,
well,
we gotta get out of here.
Yeah. You can call
Mr. Ryan.
yes, that's one of the things. ADA accessibility and everything is coming to Broadway Junction. It's a $500 million being done for that. We're fighting to make sure we get the jobs, and then nothing impacts that. So that might be a meeting of different things we'll talk to you about. You'll hear more about. But again, to Brother Malik, I want y'all to take a look at something. You see the size of my brother? I know where he's from. I know where he lives at.
I don't advise none of you women to get on social media or something that may be highly volatile and put your phone number and face on it. He don't mind.
That's true.
And
That's
he-
true. Yeah,
he-
that's
I
true.
have to keep reminding folks. Some of us are cut different
Yeah.
thing. You know, come see me.
No, I was just asking.
No, I understand, but he grew up and he knows what I'm talking about.
We have to.
He about that business. That's my buddy. We grow like that. But
We have to.
be careful putting your face and your number on
We have
people.
to-
Talking
we have
about,
to-
you did this
we
and
have to
I'm the
adjourn-
one said, oh yeah.
We have to adjourn this meeting. It's getting
Yeah.
late. But before I close, I want to
8:13.
apologize for not introducing you. But I was a little late, and I told in the beginning. Always we introduce everybody in the beginning. I told her that happened before I got here, and I apologize to you as a
Well, the other meetings I saw you on time when I'm in there.
Yeah,
but
but-
y'all just don't see me. Sometimes I'll be in a different disguise. I might
No,
have
no,
my
no.
locks.
Yes, yes.
Adjournment at 8:13.
Don't
I
let
Don't keep
second
playing
the
your head. Don't let him
motion.
keep playing your head. Adjourn the meeting. He don't do that. As long as you listen to him, he's
Gotta
gonna
give
do
me a
it.
chance.
You know, give him a
Okay.
chance, he gonna do it.
Right now it's 8:14.
8:14.
Can we get adjournment?
I make a
Next
motion.
meeting is.
I make a motion.
The next.
Motion to adjourn.
I second
To
it.
the meeting to be
I
adjourned.
second.
Next meeting is on.
Thank you so much.
Y'all look
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you.
Ms. Jones, next meeting is on.
Call you, man. I gotta talk.